everybody, it's me, Jay, your GM. I use he, him.
I'm Jerika, I use she, her.
I'm Air, I use he, him.
I'm Matt, I use he, him.
I'm Mazz, I use ze, them now, but if you can't wrap your head around neo-pronouns, they, them is fine.
And this is Insight Check. Merry, happy holidays.
And where we delve into the dungeon of your bad decisions to retrieve the treasure of wisdom.
Except we're not going to do any of that.
The argument could be made that we've never done any of that.
So the first year we did this podcast at the end of the year as sort of like a little moment of reflection. We sat down and did the 12 yays of Christmas. We had a different cast then, and we had a smaller cast then. Now it has been probably, I don't think we did it last year, and I'm not sure if we did it the year before that. I don't know if that was our first year. We've been doing this for a while, folks.
Some might say too long.
Yeah. We were all talking amongst each other, and we were like, we should do it again. And here we are.
Wait, was that a group consensus? I don't know.
Well, we thought we'd do a big group pod, and I may have at some point mentioned 12 Years of Christmas and then just sort of assumed everybody was on board. It's fine. It's fine.
That sounds correct.
It's an executive J-cision.
Yeah, it's an executive J-cision. I like the branding we've got going on where you just put J in words. All right, so the goal of this, right, we're going to have every cast member on in this episode. Right now, we've got about a little over half the cast here right now. And later in the episode, we're going to have the other members.
One might say 5/8
Sure.
of the cast.
We're going to have other members rotate in, and some members will rotate out. And we're going to...
Because some of us have to go to bed.
Right, because for some of us, they're in wildly different time zones. And you know what? I'm going to use half a yay to say that I'm grateful I get to hang out with you, Mazz.
Thanks, Jay.
Only half a yay.
I'm using half a yay to say I'm grateful for you, Mazz Mataz.
You know what?
Thanks.
I'm a whole yay and a half.
Hey, excuse me. No, you can't do that. You're going to mess with the yay system.
This is why I like Matt better. Matt is better than you, Jay.
So there are 12 yays. There are 8 cast members. We each get 1.5 yay. So that is how the system works. And we're going to go down the list. And I've already started, so I'll go straight into my second one. I am
your whole one.
Yes, my whole yay.
Yeah, talk about
I am extremely grateful to every
yay-hole.
player in my D&D games who have gotten me through this hell year. I genuinely don't know how I would have gotten through this year without playing a bunch of D&D. I was stuck in my house for like 8 months. I couldn't go to town. I couldn't do anything. And the only thing that was like always motivating me is that I was never more than like 2 or 3 days away from D&D. And that was just like the thing that like, you know, it was that little thing I could always look forward to. Like, oh, okay, this day sucks. But tomorrow I get to play D&D. And I mean, I played some of the best D&D of my life this year. I have 5 D&D groups, and every single one of them is among the best D&D I've ever played.
Yeah, you're more a couple of hours from any given D&D game, less than days.
I mean, I can't overstate it enough. Like, those games are a beacon in the dark, and the players have all been incredibly kind and supportive, and the community of players I've built around me, they support me when I'm down. They're very positive. They're hilarious. They're great role players. It's just good. It's just good. Tabletop RPGs are good.
I have to agree with a lot of your statements because this group especially and the games, the TTRPGs that I've been playing are like my main course of socialization in this dark time. And so, yeah, I think I would have been much worse off without the community.
I don't have any friends, so Jay and Matt, your yays were wasted.
So rude.
I'm joking.
So hurtful.
Wasted.
Well, then I'll use my half yay.
I like to think mine was invested.
Jay's gonna rescind his half yay.
I'm gonna reclaim my half
That
yay.
sounds like some sunk cost fallacy just coming up to bite you in the ass.
I'm going to reclaim my half yay to say thank you to everybody who has indulged my creative endeavors this year.
Whoever could that have been?
because it has been really fulfilling to make things and have people enjoy them and talk
Not
about
like this
them.
podcast.
Yeah.
Not like this podcast.
Not like this podcast, no. No,
If
Tab.
you're finding insights.
actually, excuse me.
Dragon show.
Excuse me. This podcast has one extremely dedicated fan who gives me a lot of like joy every time I post an episode, and that's Scout. And other than that, we don't have any fans, but Scout keeps this podcast going.
Agree.
All right. Anyway, next person.
Shall I go? So I can be done.
So excited.
Sweet fruition.
So, I mean, you've had one of those days, Jay, I'm sure.
I've had one of those months. Anyway, my half yay is going on my new Windows, but no one wants to hear about those because they're not an RPG, although the role I am playing in this game is a frustrated and pissed off person, as I wait years for Windows to be fixed.
Yeah, that class needs a buff.
My full yay is going to go on
Fantasy Flight.
Fantasy Flight. It's all those words. Look, it's very late. I'm very, very tired. Okay.
So, I just must say, we're so happy to have you.
Yeah, I wish I could reciprocate. I'm joking. I love
this. I love this abuse play we've got going on here, where I just keep coming at you with affection, and you just keep whipping me.
I do love you all. I'm just very low energy at the moment because of my half yay. It's not been a good time, but this is not a therapy podcast for me.
Yeah, therapy podcast for me.
Yeah, but it's not your turn yet.
Oh, right.
Now, what about this? Now, what about the?
Fantasy Flight games. So that's Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny.
Yes.
Yeah,
As well as a ton of other amazing games.
Those are all. Stop-offs.
Yeah, like stop-ups. And we've talked about it loads before, and I'm playing it with some of you guys, and I'm playing it with my family, and it's kept us communicating this year as we play over Discord video calls, and it's just the amount of joy those two games have given me, the amount of fun, and then the fact that I could bring John in to meet you guys, and he did stole everyone's shoes, it was just beautiful. But yeah, and it's just so it's been a joy to try a different system and just find that it's a system that I love, and then share that system with the people I love to just create some amazing moments and little jokes, and there's just little things that we say to each other in the respective groups that we've now got that we can it'll just make everyone laugh as soon as you think of it and what the moment that created it. So
what you're saying is Star Wars is your love language?
Certainly mine.
I mean, it's theirs, definitely, yeah. I would say nice, clicky, colourful rocks that you get to roll plenty of. Yeah, I like the clicky clacks.
Yeah, and it's been a joy to see all the chatter about the new system, and I've actually incorporated Star Wars style initiative in one of my D&D games, and it's gone really well. I really like what the tacticalness and the interplay it gives. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's not a perfect game, but it's a very, very good and flexible game. I enjoy it a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you're going to have to come play with us sometime, Jay.
Yeah, I will. I'm getting into that player vibe. I played a game with La Serene. I played a game with Jerika. I'm enjoying my time in the player seat. I thought I would be super bored. I really do think that a lot of the things you enjoy as a GM, you still enjoy as a player, which is just getting to listen to other people play games is fun. And also, you can spend a lot of time really considering all your little pieces of your character and getting in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you only like DMing or GMing and you don't like playing, maybe consider if you have issues with being in control all the time.
Definitely. Those.
Yeah, Jay, consider it.
I've considered it's
You can't tell me what to do.
factual
I'm the DM. Well, I'd love to go because my half a yay, and is only half because it was Mazz's full yay.
Yes.
So I figured I could slip by. Is the 2 campaigns I'm playing, have been playing all year, and just the juxtaposition of table culture between them, because our Stopwops game, our Star Wars game, is very silly. Like I never laugh harder than when we're in those sessions, because like we're all, I don't think you can't be at this point steeped in, some degree of the mythos of Star Wars. Everyone knows the story, so everyone can riff on it, and it immediately becomes, just this perfect parchment for parody.
Right, like something wacky happened in the holodeck.
Yeah.
Yeah. The holodeck episodes, those are famous in Star Wars.
Every time Jay says they're basically the same, I want to throw him at an airlock.
I mean, bye.
What, on the Enterprise or on the Millennium Falcon?
No, the Serenity, though.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to throw Jay out of the TARDIS.
Oh.
Rocinante for me.
Let's all just name spaceships. Anyway, but yes, our
Enterprise D.
Our Stopwops game is an endless source of just very silly, giddy fun, which is juxtaposed by the other campaign I'm playing in, which Matt is also a part of, run by our friend, the Drunk Phytologist. It is, she took up the torch for our dear friend Leap running the Small Folk game, which is D&D, but with cute little critters.
Is this the one with Scout in it?
Yeah, Scout's in that game. Action Economist is in that game.
This is the game that Matt says I could not DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know if it's the DM so much as is the table culture. We have a lot of like people who wanted to bring. I mean, it is based on Curse of Strahd, so there's going to be darkness and dourness to it.
And that was basically my kind of feeling on it too, is like the amount of like grief and agony and angst a table goes through is not determined by the DM. It is determined by how much the players choose that their characters care.
Absolutely. That is the thing. These folks are heavily invested in their characters and all the darkness that surrounds the reasons that they've ended up in Barovia, or Batrovia in this case, because Strahd is a vampire bat in this instance. But just the feels are intense. Like we have, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not sure if this was role play or legitimate, but I dropped a line I'd been waiting to drop on Scout's character, because our 2 PCs have like something of a burgeoning romantic connection. They're just kind of old people who found each other. Sure. It's the elderly folks that are shacking up in the old folks home.
What the fuck?
Yeah. But she started wiping away tears. And I was like, is she really just this good an actor? Or was that like, these are serious feels? And like, that is not an isolated incident. Like there are a lot of.
I've heard the fallout from these games.
Yes, big oofs all around. So just to see that kind of emotional tenor in one game, and then the quality goofs that are coming out of another game, just proves to me over and above that TTRPGs are the best way to hang out with your friends. So.
Yeah, I gave my players a bunch of notes from their deceased father in the last D&D game that I played with my Saturday group, and it got pretty
Saturday group?
My morning
early
Saturday
or
group,
late?
Yeah. No, I mean, you were in the other game, so you would know if it was the other one.
Yeah, but you gotta specify, bud.
No, the early group last Saturday, yesterday. I gave them all letters from their deceased father, and yeah, it got pretty intense in there. One of them was so pissed off. They were like, "This is emotional manipulation. This guy's an asshole. You can't make me think he's nice now, Jay." And I'm like, "I'm not making you think anything. People can be two things at once." Feels in RPG. It's a thing, and it's worth pursuing. It's worth pursuing.
I'm done. That's me. Who's next?
I'm going to talk about escapism in RPG instead of deep emotional wells that should always stay shut and never be open. But first, I'm going to talk about the opportunity that TTRPGs and D&D give you to basically just escape and live in your head in a place that is hopefully better than the place that your body inhabits. I was able, when things got real stressful, mostly because of work stuff, I was able to create my own world and think real deep thoughts and science thoughts as well about like tectonics and geology and weather patterns and climate change related to designing my own planet and then putting people on it and also magical creatures. So that was extremely diverting and helpful and is encouraging for me to possibly start running D&D more regularly, which is a goal I've had, not stated aloud, but sort of in the recesses of the folds of my brain.
So is there a Wilka campaign that...
Wilka, so campaigns aren't really my aim. I think I'm going to try one-shots, but I think that's really, it's almost more helpful because there's a lot of different areas, like places that I want to go to. So like, Jay.
No, I was listening to the last podcast, editing it just now, and I was hearing you and Air talk about this actually, and I was thinking that maybe one of the ideas for you all that's like viable, since you struggle with campaigns and the commitment of a campaign, right? But you kind of desire that sort of longevity, or you might desire more experience in that arena. A great way to do it might be like one-shots that you string together canonically.
Yeah, that really appeals to me.
Mm-hmm. TNG over DS9.
Mm-hmm. I'm very into like iteration, and the ability to like do the same thing over again, maybe a little different, but better the next time, and better and better and better. That makes me more excited than, oh, let's commit to a 6-month campaign where I have to be on the ball every single week.
And that's so funny to me because I'm the exact opposite. Once I play an adventure, I never want to do that again. It's dead to me.
Well, it wouldn't be, I don't think I would I wouldn't run the same adventure, I don't think. I would run one in the Cathedral Lands, and then one in the Citadel of Glass and Bone, and then one in Kurosawa, and then, yeah.
I really like your setting, though. I really like the concept of these people, like, on this very, these people on this very harsh world that's very, like the climate is very unforgiving, and they're forced to go to this extreme of like living over active volcanoes, and then
or in the swamp. That's their choice.
And I like the adventure of like the first adventure being like, here's what happens when that goes wrong. Here's a city that just got wiped out. And like, you know, it's a immediate reminder that like these people live on the edge of a knife, and any moment that can all come crumbling down. And I think that creates a really interesting world where people have like a real strain on them all the time, and it makes you wonder like, okay, well, why aren't they living in that thin warm belt? Why are they living down here? What's forced them down? And it gets you interested into like the mechanics of the world, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, and I think for me that came from sort of a science background and interest in science and things like that. So that's my full yay. And then my half a yay is, I'm going to call it Gold Angels. So this is just, you know, again, escapism in the form of D&D. So I joined Jay's late Saturday game early this year. And when we were going through the Temple of Tiamat's dead corpse orbs, we came across a dragon with a horde, and my character got to do gold angels in the dragon's horde to taunt it. And of course, Jerika would never do this. Like me would, I tend to be more prudent and logical. But boy, Callie is a joy to play because she is very impulsive.
And it works.
And that's all. You can be someone different for a couple hours a week.
Yeah. I think that's really a great part of playing tabletop RPGs. Like that role play aspect is so, it didn't used to be so important to me, but now I think it's really important to me. To enjoy a game, I think I need players who connect a little bit, at least, on that role play level. They don't have to be all in all the time, but I think I am at a stage in my life where I just want people who role play, and I'm willing to admit that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go to our final cast member for this round, Matt Will Jackson.
Oh no, I should have been thinking and preparing of something this entire time.
No, it's okay.
I mean, I think for me this past year is like a lot of the rest of you have said. I assume had I been listening, basically, this is my social interaction. This podcast and D&D is just about all my human interaction since February.
Yeah. I mean, me too. But
my gods, I've needed it. I really appreciate it and all of you.
Well, I mean, I can say for certain, and I'm sure that everybody who plays with you feels the same, that my games would not be as good without you. So I'm really glad you're at my table.
You're my favorite emo teen I don't know how to interact with.
I appreciate you, Matt. I rescind everybody's yays and use all 12 of them to appreciate you.
I win! I did it!
I win. I win Christmas.
I mostly did it to piss Jay off.
That's okay. You can't hurt me by loving Matt.
That helps. That still helps.
So, okay, that's your yay. I'm glad to hear it. What's your second yay? Your 0.5 of a yay.
I've enjoyed the One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
Anime binging. Basically, all of the media that I've binge watched and consumed this year to stave off dread.
Yeah.
That's been real good for me.
I've been doing a bit of the binging. I think we've all been doing a bit of the binging at home. And, for sure. Ted Lasso, I mean, a show that, like, literally, actually, genuinely gave me hope in this dark time.
You know what? I keep seeing clips of it, and it looks kind of wholesome.
It's amazing. It came out of nowhere to just be this big bag of wholesome positivity I didn't know I needed, but I needed it so bad, and I cried through, like, half of it. It's just so kind. It's such a kind show.
You know what gave me hope? What show I binged and gave me hope?
What's that?
Canada's Drag Race.
Hey, there you go.
I felt like I was living in Canada, and Canada's definitely a better place to be, I think, as far as, like, human empathy goes.
I definitely think that binging is a yay for sure.
What haven't I binged? I'm about to leave this to continue binging Breaking Bad with my wife.
I don't know if that's a show that gives me hope, but yeah.
An unhealthy amount of television, but that's fine because I always have, so I've built up an immunity.
You know, no such thing as a bad show, because when you're watching a show, you're not thinking about life.
I don't agree with that, but
sometimes that's all you need.
All right, folks, let's wrap it up before we descend into existential dread. All right, everybody, this is the second half of our 12 Yays of Christmas year-end podcast, episode 151. Matt, Jerika, and Jay are still here, and joining us are
entering the ring
cadre of new insight checkers. Why don't you all say your names and pronouns?
Hi, I'm Haley, and I use she, her.
I'm Leap, I use he, him.
And I'm Embers Tide, and I use he, him.
And this is still Insight Check, where we delve into the dungeon of your bad decisions to retrieve the treasure of wisdom.
We're not answering your cues, though.
That's right. We are not delving into any dungeons today.
No delving.
Leave these A's alone. We don't need those cues tonight.
Quit playing with those A's. Wash your hands.
Quality content to end your year on, folks.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear the voices of Embers and Leap again. It's been a minute since I've got to pod with these fellas.
I have saved up. I have not said a single word since I was on here last time, so I'm ready to go.
You just haven't spoken. You've taken a vow of silence.
Your wife and children can wait.
I mean, what would happen if you said something interesting and it wasn't recorded?
Right, exactly.
I believe there's nothing that you can say that you can't pantomime and have people understand.
Cats living with dogs. Total
That is not a philosophy that works on a podcast.
I feel like that would be a really good way to entertain your children, though.
You know what?
Just make them figure out.
In these difficult times, novel ways to entertain your kids are super vital.
Right? Here's a great thing. You're going to figure out what I'm trying to say to you.
Right.
And I'm going to act it out.
See, this
is
me.
It depends on if your kid has an attention span or not. Because it seems like a certain kind of child would get to a point where they just can't, figure it out, and they give up, and they just leave.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. I'd say
that's like 2/3 of my kids. Yeah. Exactly.
I say that there is an age, and it comes at it's a different number for everybody, where you stare at your grown up and I suppose feel that initial sense of pity and go about your day.
Some of us get there early.
And some of us haven't gotten there yet.
So let me catch you up on the first half of this pod.
Catch me, Jay.
So I did the math. I did the mathematics, and there's 8 of us, and we each get 1.5 yays to total 12 yays.
So for the half yay, do I just say half of it and then stop talking?
No, you say the whole thing, but it only counts for half of your yay. No. We're not turning this into a fun Yuletide game.
Does it just have to be a short yay, or
no? It's just half a yay. So it's a regular yay, but imagine
just say
half.
like every other word.
Okay.
Yeah. So in a way, you might consider this the 16 yays of Christmas, but it's definitely 12. We did the math.
Great.
So let me go through what we did in the first half. So I said that I was extremely grateful for my friends at the table who've got me through difficult times. I also said that I was very grateful for people who consume my content. That has given me a ton of validation, gratification, and a creative outlet that I really
Word up, Jamers.
Ayer has said that emotional roleplay moments in their Curse of Strahd game have helped them through, as well as funny roleplay moments in their Star Wars game. Mazz said that their Windows being completed was half a yay. And they also said that their Star Wars game was their other yay, discovering this new system and enjoying it, and that
full yay.
More importantly, Mazz made an important decision to discount everybody's yays and give me all 12.
Which I have ruled invalid.
Nice. That's less nice.
That's not a diversified yay portfolio, but if Mazz has conviction, then they should go with it.
No, mine was basically the social aspect of role-playing or having games with people as a substitute for any actual human socialization this past year. And Netflix binging was my half a yay.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh la la.
Solid half yay.
I focused on the escapism part of D&D and TTRPGs, and talked a little bit about the joy that I found creating my own homebrew world, and the cool stuff going on there. And then my half a yay was my gold angel from the Saturday campaign, where my character Callie just flopped in the horde of a blue dragon and made gold angels.
How seasonally appropriate as well.
And so that catches you up to where we are currently in our 12 Yays of Christmas. Let's pick right up. So one of our 3 new members who've just joined us, kick it off. What's your first Yay?
Embers is a new member. I can get started.
Do you have a slideshow presentation?
That is my half yay. No. So I'd say that I'll go full yay is that I've been writing something to release to the DMs guilds or itch.io's of the world, just a homebrew setting kind of thing as well. And I've been writing forever because I write very little bits at a time and over a lot of time. But I kind of decided that 2021 was the year to do something or get off the pot. And so I'm going to do something. Yeah. And so this year I'm yaying because I've been commissioning some artists and I'm super excited that I've been seeing their work, their brilliant genius work come through. And I'm through enough of the content that I can actually start doing some page layout stuff. So 2021, I can't promise it's going to be good, but I can promise I'm going to stop writing it.
Now, when are you gonna share something? Reach out to somebody, and we'll try and get you on the podcast.
If there are people who are gracious enough to read this chicken scratch and help improve it, or even just give some thoughts, I will grandly appreciate it, and it will be a yay of 2021. You heard it here first.
If there is anything I've learned from this year, it's that in order for anyone to enjoy the things you make, you have to first make them. So definitely the first step towards being out there in the world and being creative is just to create something. And if it's good or if it's bad, it doesn't matter. As long as you're creating something, eventually you're getting closer to that time in your life when you create the thing that resonates.
Yeah, and ultimately, I've had a lot of joy just sort of like playing around with it. Like so, when I used to be a fine artist, I would consider like making a painting kind of like an act of like occasional combat, or like when you're trying to tame a horse or a tiger or something. But at the end of it, you have, highs and lows and goods and bads, but you have a sense of completion. And so that's the kind of sensation that I'm shooting for here. And it's going really well. It's very fulfilling. And to be able to share it with a few friends and then share it more broadly, even if it just gets downloaded once, it will feel very good to have that out there. And honestly, the ability to work with like amazing artists, even if it's just a little, ever so little based on what I can afford and do, that's been so fun. Probably the best part. Yeah. So that's a big yay.
What's your half a yay?
My half a yay, I guess. The half a yay is, I feel like in 2020 we're closing the year and Hasbro has like a little more serious competition than it had in the past. I mean, I know there's a long time been like the Chaosiums and the Paizos and all that stuff, but I feel like this year there's the promise of like highfalutin Darrington stuff to come. And I think that legit competition continues to make folks better and continues to make product better. And it has the opportunity, and I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that I see some of it now, where you see some of the perhaps more marginalized, outside, but brilliant creative minds from the TTRPG tabletop space being brought in at any level, first of all, but hopefully at definitive, authoritative, memorable levels that will both expand their careers and the gaming community may be accelerating rather than stagnating. And so that's, it would be a full yay, but it's a half a yay because proof's in the pudding. And I think we have to see it develop and unfold in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think these games launched this year, but it's been cool to see more of Star Wars and those games that have been getting more popular.
Yes.
It's been cool to see indies like Quest rising and getting some attention this year. Lots of little games and smaller games companies are starting to really put their stake on the world and really try to make a claim for and it's been huge to see like Critical Role really advertising these smaller indie games with full shows like Deadwood and that one game they did from Tales from the Heart or something like that. We saw Tales from the Loop on Penny Arcade. That game's been getting more popular. The world of tabletop gaming is more interesting and with a wider variety of games, and it looks like it's only going to continue in that trend in the future.
Hey, and you make a good point that some of the sort of franchise marquee names are bringing those mechanics, structures to the forefront. That's good.
Yeah, people seem to be more aware of their like privileged position.
Yes, I hope so. And I think you're right.
Awesome. Those are two great yays.
Well, yay. Yay.
I hate to make you follow two powerful yays like that up, but what have you got, buddy? I I know you can rise to the challenge.
Let's see. My yays. Okay, my yays are around animal-based D&D, mainly because of Humblewood. Humblewood is my big yay, but it is really more around the fact that I have just come to embody a raccoon, just like right down in my soul. And I didn't know that part of my existence was being a raccoon until I decided I would play a raccoon, and it just like slipped right into who I am. And,
so is this you like coming out as a furry right now? Like,
no. Not. I mean,
listen. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, for sure.
If you want to be a furry, I'm going to support you.
We found love in a furry place.
That's fair. I think that all of my D&D this year has been exceptionally silly. And Humblewood, at least the way that the table that I'm playing at in is just like it can't go another way than silly. And just the fact that being a raccoon has allowed me to be like mischievous and playful and curious and like intentionally fuck things up. And I have like a table that's like, Sean's a hot mess. And this character is a hot mess, and we're just going to let him play it. I think it was a lot of fun.
I think silly is a powerful medicine in this year.
100%.
Just the chance to be silly is a good balm for the soul right now.
Exactly. Like, okay, so my little example, I'll be quick, is that our Humblewood game is actually happening in a Willy Wonka style factory. And we are literally in part of it, in one of the adventures, we are in like a bouncy castle made of gummies, where there are different rooms. And right now I've been like dragged through caramel. I have an extra AC because there's gummies attached to my bodies. I touched a button that I shouldn't have touched, which exploded a grenade, which I totally couldn't have avoided. But like, I'm just like, I am getting my hands in things. I'm choosing to be silly. I'm trying to run with the game. It's been like, it has been very relieving. And you're right, Jay, it's medicinal. And my half yay is just tied to that because I have a long-standing game that I've been playing and my character died in it. And I was like, okay, well, how am I going to bring the joy that I found from animal-based D&D into like the sort of serious D&D world that I play in? And I play a tabaxi, and he sounds like Bernie Sanders, and I've just found another way to be silly into that space too.
Sure.
And so, it's been great.
Finding a way to bring a new character into a game is really difficult. And then also having this resolution to like make your game a little sillier and a little bit more of like a fun place to be. I think that that's a great way to sort of like check in with yourself and see what you want out of RPGs. And then to make sure that you get that. You created a character that will generate the kind of experiences you want out of D&D. And I think that's what everybody should do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also been like the place that like longtime friends have been able to connect. And it's the only way that we've stayed in connection through the pandemic. And what was just like fun and like a good way to keep touch has become like a lifeline for a lot of us. Right.
Oh, yeah,
and so
Totally.
And so that has been like, I think, we've played darker games before, like nothing super duper dark, but we've hit those serious notes, and everything now just has that little bit of like
it's just not
brevity to it.
It's not where you're at right now.
No, exactly. Yeah. Like we just want to get around. We want to like mess around with some dice, do something silly, right? Like go along with the plan for a little, and then
and I don't think there's anything lesser about a game like that. I think that like D&D is this is my like motto, my mantra for D&D is D&D is a hobby, not a jobby. And I think that like you have to, there's a time where you want to get really competitive at basketball, like you want to take it really seriously and you want to be really good at basketball. And then there's a time where you just want to go and shoot some hoops because you want to blow off steam. And
says
I think
the D&D any percent speed run world record.
Yeah, that's true. I forget that I am a world record holder now. I do take it very seriously.
I do also think that some people gravitate towards sort of cathartic experiences where they can kind of channel all the emotions that they're feeling into something that is finite and then other people just want to have a positive experience because the negativity is not helpful.
Yeah, the world is hard right now, and and it is even okay for those wants to change from year to year.
Yeah, for sure.
This last year, maybe I wanted a more serious campaign. This year, maybe I just want to goof off with friends, and that's fine.
Yeah, I think definitely people, if you found your game changing this year, it's probably a reflection on the year that everyone has been having, and that's totally normal. And as things shift again in the next year to 2 years to however long, they expect your games to change again, and that's just normal as people change and as things change. And I don't think you need to fight that. I think you just need to make sure that you're I think it's good that you checked in with yourself and was like, this is what I really like in this other experience. How do I bring more of that to this table?
Yeah, I think that Leap tapped into something really insightful there, which is that they identified, I'm having a lot of fun in this game because of this. Well, how can I bring that into my other games? And I think it's great.
It's what's profound about these games is they're not there for you to rise to the occasion of what they demand you to be. They're there to be what you need of them at the time.
Right, yeah. It's a cooperative storytelling experience, and they can't be that unless you're cooperating, unless you're meeting each other where you are.
Yeah.
Right.
But hey, you know what? We got 2 more yays to get through, so let's continue.
Don't you mean
1.5 more yays? Yeah.
I've got
I'm
a
so
yay
sorry.
and a half.
Yay,
Haley,
you do.
tell me what you're yay about this year.
All right. I am yay about some stuff. So I'm going to be sentimental with my full yay.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to start with my half a yay, and
Sure.
then I'll be sentimental. So my half a
like
yay.
that.
It's like a yay warm-up.
Yeah, I've got to save my big yay for the finale. My half a yay is something that I actually just experienced the other day, and I wish that we had been recording it just so that everyone could experience the sheer joy of when I experienced Beyond 20 for the first time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
I heard a little bit about this after.
So for those of you who have not yet seen the D&D speedrun, 1, you should watch it. But 2, I made the character of Finch about 3 minutes before we started playing.
Yes, which is appropriate for a game that only lasted 13 minutes.
Yes, and I was like, great, I made this really fast in D&D Beyond, this is great. And then we were like, oh, we need it in Roll20, and I was like, you mean I have to create this over again in Roll20? And they were like, no, did you know there's this great plugin that you can download, and then you click on stuff in D&D Beyond, and it rolls it in Roll20? And I was like, you're joking.
No,
It is how I do D&D these days.
And I was like, and I think that in the actual thing that I said was, wow, maybe I should play D&D again.
yeah, I know. I was so pleased. I was like,
And I was like 110% not even joking.
yeah.
Did you find the process of putting characters in Roll20 very arduous?
I hated it. I hated the fact that I had to build a character and then I had to build a character again, and it was never correct.
And you can back me up on this if you think I'm right or wrong. You can tell me that too. But I feel like making a character in Roll20 requires a lot more of understanding the back end of your character sheet that D&D Beyond mostly handles for you. And so it forces you to interact with those more complicated systems, and that can be kind of confusing, yeah.
I think that maybe that's why I found it so stressful. You all had played before, and I had never played before. So I was making my first character, and I was joining this game with people who had all played before, and I had never played. And you were all like, I'm ready to go. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And we spent our entire first game fixing my character in Roll20. And it was not a positive experience for me.
Now, Haley, I'm developing a world. And if you're interested in playing D&D, or at least open it to it, you've got the first slot, my friend.
Is this like proposing on television where you
This could all get edited out.
Yeah, I feel like proposing on television is the worst because you put that person in that position where they gotta say yes. so Haley, you can answer after the pod when you're Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you enjoyed Beyond 20. I'm glad that you enjoyed playing in my silly little speedrun game.
It was so much fun. But Beyond 20 was great. I'm sure everyone has like, how is she just finding out about this now?
I think there's a lot of people who don't know about it.
It's great. If you've never used it, it's life-changing. Please use it. So that's my half
It
yay.
still only works in Chrome, is that correct?
I think it works in Firefox.
Okay, cool.
Oh, cool.
I know that I used the Chrome plugin,
I use Chrome as well.
which I then deleted from my work laptop.
And for you DMs out there, if you build an encounter in D&D Beyond, it's so easy. And you can also roll through Beyond 20.
Yeah, it rolls off
from
monsters.
from your encounters.
So nice.
That is basically how I have taken on more D&D this year, is because the systems are so automated now to the extent that it actually saves me that much time where I can actually DM more.
That's so nice. Oh my goodness. I'm all about automation, but I'm not going to get into that on the podcast because I will talk for too long about automation and how much time it saves.
So what is that big last yay?
All right, the last yay. I'm going to talk about the last yay now. So my sentimental yay is about our little community and our Discord. I think it has just been a really nice place for this year of being really isolated. Even though we don't have like a huge group of people, I really appreciate all of you in chat, being able to chat with you all. I've personally found the fitness channel really motivating. I had a lot more time this year without commuting to spend time biking and stuff, and being able to like post there about how I was doing like really helped me get motivated. And so like the combination of that and just having like people to chat with all the time, especially when I was not doing so great emotionally, has meant a lot to me. So that's my big yay for the year.
We've had some new people join this year, and it's been really, really nice to interact with all of you.
Yeah,
And the old people too. Everybody.
Yes, we appreciate you all.
Just the new people. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was constantly playing Jackbot games at the beginning of the pandemic, or whether it was playing Among Us that one night on my birthday where
It was humongous.
Among Us on my birthday weekend. I've enjoyed playing Armello with the folks on the Discord. I've enjoyed playing code names, organizing random one-shots. We had that big weekend. It was my birthday. It was also like D&D PAX Online, where we played a bunch of one-shots, and that was one of the highlights of my year. Just like getting to play with all these people I don't normally get to. And just like so many times, I've just gone to that chat and just vented into the Screaming into the Void channel.
Yes, the Screaming into the Void channel has gotten me through a lot of times lately. I appreciate you all. Even just nobody has to respond to me. I just scream and then I move on with my life. It's great.
Yeah, or accidentally venting in general.
But I like them sometimes. I'm going to try to do more of them. So if this sounds interesting to you, I've been trying to do some morning coffee chats sometimes, just for something a little bit different to start the day on occasional Friday mornings before work. Just chat with people, try to keep us all not feeling too isolated over the coming winter. So I appreciate you.
I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule so that I can actually see the morning. Maybe attend such things.
Yeah.
Yes. How much morning? It's dark and
Not a yay, but this too will pass.
not a yay, but
Exactly.
we'll get through it together.
The last thing, when we last did this, which was like 3 years ago, I don't know, it was a long time ago. When we last did the 12 Yays of Christmas, we ended on a sort of New Year's resolution, or like a resolution for the next year, a sort of like an aspirational for the next year. Do we have like an aspirational, like one last thing to end on, something that we're like looking forward to accomplishing, something we're looking forward to? Let's stake our flag here on next year. What's the aspirational?
Jay made a really good point that stuck with me sometime this fall, maybe even late summer.
What's time?
What's time?
What is
It's
time?
a good question.
Yeah.
I wish I had a sword. Nope, I don't want to live this year again. Anyway, he said that, one of the things he really enjoys about D&D is you can make new friends with it. You can find new people to play with. And I really feel that. Like, I would love to be a engine for adding new people to this community and letting people find a game that they really enjoy. So personally, I'd like to try DMing more, so that I can be the change I want to see. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm asking me to make the change.
Yeah, it's so tough because we have so many friends who we already want to play with, and then the prospect of like passing up those existing friendships and reaching out to new people instead, like, could be risky. You could get people you don't like, But I mean, both of my Saturday groups are some of my favorite groups and have been amazing members of the community. Silotus, Frosty, shout outs, Ostis, Lost Lorraine, yeah. Kat,
Thursday group who is being slighted.
I'm not slighting anyone.
Mercilessly. Mercilessly.
But like, you guys were already members of the community. I'm talking about new people that I just DM'd on a whim.
Yeah, I know. People you love more than us. It's fine.
And then my new Saturday group that I'm playing with now, Callum and Woe and the rest of the gang. I guess I don't have to go through everybody's name. Well, now I half did it anyway, so I'm going to finish anyway. Caddis and Sleepy and Yosh. Amazing new people that I wouldn't have met if I didn't just randomly find people on Twitter who are like, God, finding a DM is so hard. And I was just like, oh, well, lucky you. I happen to be bored with too much time. But yeah, it's been really cool bringing these people into the community and then seeing them become really integrated in the community and really integral to that community. We've played tons of games with Silotus and Frosty, and Lost Lorraine has managed to jump in a few times here and there where they are available. And it just makes that pool of people here who can just at any time join up into a Voltron of gaming and make something happen even wider. And I love it. It brings more people in, a bigger diversity of kinds of people, and new ideas. It's fun.
Now, Jay, are you expecting to burn out in 2021 with all these new projects that you're developing? Is that your goal?
I would like after vaccine times when we've taken our first and second dose and had 14 days afterwards to build antibodies, in that occasion, I would like to kind of reel back a little bit on my games. I know one's going to end next year. We're just at that point where it basically is inevitable. And I know a couple others are likely to end as well. I won't say who, but I don't think I will be replacing all 5 games. I think I'll be keeping 2 or 3 going.
Yeah, you'll just start 6 new games.
God, I hope not. I do plan to reel back a little bit, but
what about the future of History Check and Jay's really good D&D game? Nope, Jay's really good D&D show.
The thing with your face on the YouTube.
I think that those things will evolve and change. I don't know that I'll do Jay's really good D&D show forever. But I think that making those things has made me somebody who will probably make stuff forever. So I'll probably keep making stuff if it's not exactly those things. But yeah.
You are a good maker of stuff.
I don't know that if I believe.
Bashu thinks so.
I've seen people make stuff, and I think that you're good at it. That's all.
You make.
I've never dealt with this feeling before, but there's definitely this feeling for me that for years, I struggled with this, and this podcast has been a major thing that's staved it off for a long time. But if I don't make something for a while, I get this angst, this gloom that I just want to be creative. I want to be creating something. I want to be working on something and making something and then releasing it to the world. And just the process of doing it is really fulfilling to me. And I didn't have a community to make stuff with and for before, and now I do. And the transformation for me has been completely life-altering. And that's no exaggeration. The amount of happiness I feel these days is worlds beyond what I used to. It's incomparable. It's a completely different universe. So I owe you all tremendously.
All right, enough about how great we all are. But yeah, I'm really excited about 2021. When I get all my antibody juices flowing, I'm going to go to PAX. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. That's going to happen. PAX will be back. I'm going to go back to making some music after four fan D&D rap albums. There's some stuff brewing, and that's going to come in 2021. Finally going to get this writing monkey off my back, and I'm super excited for no other reason than it will be a vehicle for some of my favorite artists in the world to have art go out. And that will be an incredible feeling. And I will be 40 years old at that year.
Hey, congrats.
Nice.
What a milestone.
I mean, I can't think of anybody I know who's like as prolific as you. You've done so many things.
I don't know anybody who's deserved to live as long as you.
But those are my positive pre-yays for 21.
This has been a really tough year, and I haven't been around. But this is a group of people that I love very much, and I owe a lot to, and so I want to be here more.
You're always around in my heart.
Oh, see, that just made me a big old Canadian smile. And no, I want to DM more like Jerika. I want to pod more. I want to connect with people who are important to me, right? Like, it's been a lonely year, and we deserve to be with each other and do things that we love. And so I'd say keep that going into 2021, even when hopefully we get through what we're getting through right now.
Yeah. Can I get a yay, man?
Yay, man.
For me, I would like to probably play more games. I don't know if I will ever do a campaign again, just because of my schedule. Maybe someday. I don't know. I've got Star Wars, which meets twice a month, which I love dearly. And that's maybe the max of my regular meeting occurrences of things. Sure. But I would like to play more games with my friends, because I have a hesitancy to schedule things because of my schedule. And I shouldn't let that hold me back. So like Leap, I would like to do more playing games and doing things with people that I care about. But I would also like to try to run something sometime.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's been a thing I've wanted to do all year, and I haven't done it. So maybe next year. And on a personal note, hopefully I'm going to get married next year.
Hey!
Didn't happen this year because of COVID, but
sure.
Plans to have that happen next year. So that's my personal exciting.
Amen and hallelujah.
God damn it!
I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a good. How has nobody ever made that joke in my life?
Seriously,
that's such a good one.
Hallelujah.
Oh man,
That is so good.
Strong.
Praise her.
It's a strong contender.
Yep.
Matthew?
I have never been good at, I don't know, forecasting my own year. I'm, like this one, just, happy to get through it.
Yeah.
there you go. We can give a yay man to that because
Yay man and
hallelujah. I will say hallelujah to that.
Hang on, can it be J-Min and hallelujah?
J-men.
No, because this is the 12 yays of Christmas, and we're not going to subvert it. And I got to subvert this precious non-holiday for you.
J-men.
J-Min and hallelujah. I think with that, we have officially all arrived at our destination. Choo choo. We are now disboarding the 12 yays of Christmas, which is apparently a train metaphor now.
Disboarding?
Disboarding. Get those boards.
We want to thank the same people we always thank, because they are just as awesome today as they were yesterday and as the 150 previous episodes. We want to thank Burnham.
Catch 'em all, and we hope you do too.
Yeah, we want to thank Burnham, BERNUMMM on Twitter. We want to thank Vinswept for our intro and outro. Burnham, we thank for our art. And we want to thank, you know what? Let's throw back a throwback here. We want to thank Tristan Falcone for our previous art.
Amen.
And we want to thank you, the viewer at home, for tuning in each week and listening to our silly antics, leaving your comments on Twitter, leaving your questions in our channel, for being an amazing community.
Discord.
For being a community that just makes like doing this worthwhile and meaningful. And we, you know what? We love you all, and we hope you just have a wonderful winter season, and that you're doing well, and that you also have things you're looking forward to in the new year. And with that, let's do our final bit. Answering your cues from our collective A's.
This was Insight
Check.
This is by the way, this is like the Mew of our podcast. This is 151. Hidden.
The Mew.
Yeah. The 151. The 151st Pokemon.
It's great.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.